All right, all right. Good evening, everyone. So today, uh, we have a few analysis that I want to take good care of today. Let's take a look at. All right, guys. So today, let's take a look at what is really happening in the market. Okay. So I'm gonna head to my chart right now. Uh, okay. All right. All right. So this is GBP USD. So today I will be analyzing currencies and commodities. Okay, I'll be analyzing both currencies and commodities. All right. So first, let's take a look at what GBP uh actually did throughout last week. All right. So if we come to the market, we see that throughout last week on GBP USD, we had buy candles throughout. Okay. So we had one, two, three, four, five, because we have 5 trading days in a week. Okay, for forex pairs. But if you are trading indices or crypto, you can trade them on the weekends. Okay, all right. So this is what we have for today. So let's go down to the 4 hours time frame to see what's really going on. So what I'm expecting on GPUSD this week is very simple. Okay, it's not difficult. But for GPUSD, I'm expecting it to come back here before it continues buying. But at the end of the day, we have a barrier. Okay. Now the barrier is the weekly candle, which is the high of the weekly candle. So I'm expecting it to go back. If it's not able to take here out at once, then I'm expecting it to come back and range for a bit. Okay. Okay. Then if it goes down, then that means the trend has changed. Okay. But at the same time, I'm still expecting it to continue buying, because if we see from the monthly time frame, we see that there are a lot of the market is currently bullish, and the monthly candle just got rejected from here. All right. So throughout last week, we had this rejection from here. Sorry, last 2 weeks, this rejection. Then last week, we had this rejection here on the monthly candle. So the monthly candle is currently bullish. Okay. And the weekly candle is still bullish. So if the weekly candle does not break above the previous weekly candle's high, I'm expecting it to reject from the weekly candle's high, and then continue selling. Okay, but if it does not break the weekly candle's high, the previous weekly candle high, then I'm expecting more buyers in the market. Okay, I'm expecting to see more buyers in the market. But before I do anything concerning buys, I'm gonna have to wait for it to read this high. It has to read this high over here. Okay, it has to read this high. It has to come out here, and then we go like this. Okay, that's for GBP USD. Okay, this is what I'm expecting throughout the week. All right, if we don't have a rangy market here that pulls it to the downside for a bit, then we will break the previous weekly high and continue the bullish movement. Okay, so now this for GBP USD. Let's go to XAUSD. Okay, so for gold, let's see what happened last week on gold. Last week on gold, we had both sellers and buyers. They were both present in the market, all right? They were both present in the market, all right? That means we first had the sell, and then it started buying, all right? And then it was also rejected from this point. The weekly candle was also rejected from this point. So this is going to be our high and low of the previous week. Okay. So these are major point of support and resistance. Okay. Not too much grammar, just straight to the point. Okay. So this is what I'm expecting from gold next week. I'm expecting it to either come back here and then come down, or it comes back here and come up. But if we do not get a break out of this inducement, because if you can see, this is a candle that formed here, and it formed like an indecision candle, is neither a bullish candle or a bearish candle. Why? Because we have wicks, very huge wicks from the top and the bottom. So let's go to the daily time frame and let's see what's going on gold. All right. So if you can see on the daily time frame, the previous day closed as a bullish candle. All right. So if the new day does not come down and sweep the low of this the previous daily candle, which is last week, I'm expecting it to keep on buying, because that's the candle formation he has been giving us. If you take a look at the trend, you see something like this. Okay. All right. So I'm expecting it to come and tear this previous weekly high, then continue buying for gold, for XAUSD. Okay. Now, if it does not do that, then it will definitely come back here first to retest before it continues buying, because the low of the previous week is down here, and the major trend line from the higher time frame is also down here. So I'm expecting it to come back and bounce. Don't forget, liquidity is like a rubber band. Whenever price comes to that rubber band, it will spring it back to the opposite direction most of the time. Okay. So this is for XAUSD. Then for general market outlook, for mostly USD pairs, all right, DXY. Let's take a look at DXY. Okay. DXY. Okay, DXY. The same thing for all pairs. The same thing for all pairs. Okay. The same thing for all pairs. If you can see, the DXY just started selling. Last week's candle was a very, very, very important sell. It really sold last week. I'm really expecting it to buy this week. I'm expecting pairs that are base currencies with the DXY. I'm expecting them to buy, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, what actually matters is when market actually open, because it might open and it will do what we definitely do not expect. Okay, so that's why you need to have a well-defined trading plan, and your trading time should be very accurate. It's very, very, very important. Okay, that's very, very, very important. All right. So for the DXY, I'm going to head to the daily time frame to see what actually happened throughout last week. So we see that we have actually we've taken out this low. This is a structure here. This is a structure here. So if it does not come back to bounce back from this structure, uh I'm expecting it to take out this low and then continue retesting. All right. So it goes two ways. It goes two ways. So this is the weekly candle, all right? And it is your major point of support and resistance for the week. Now, at times, the weekly candle dictates the direction of the market for the week. All right, meaning that whenever price comes to the weekly candle, we must always see a reaction. All right, it either gives us a reaction or it gives us a breakout. All right, it might either break the weekly candle or it will what? It will retest the weekly candle. Now, this is why candle closure is very important. All right, when trading with on the higher time frames, all right, you have to wait for candle closure. Why? Because the candles on the higher time frame burn faster. All right, the candles on the higher time frame burn faster. You might see this candle now. This is the daily time frame. Let's go to the 4 hours so you see this very, very well. So if you see the daily time frame is just one candle, right? But if you go to the 4 hours time frame, you see that we have like 4 hours in a day, all right, meaning that we have different scenarios of 4 hour candles in a day, which is 24. That means if you go to 1 hour, meaning that we have one hour candles that form for the whole 24 hours, meaning that the whole 24 hours candles is just 1 hour candle, 1 hour candle, 1 hour candle, 1 hour candle. Okay, so we just have mainly 1 hour candles. All right, so if we go to the 4 hours time frame, we see that the candles that are forming here are different. All right, so if I get a break of structure below the weekly candle, I have to wait for that candle to close, because you don't have to read meaning into a candle that have not closed yet. All right, you have to wait for the candle to close to give you a direction. So on Monday, if I see markets come to this area, I have to wait for it to close, because we also have to take a look at the fundamentals that we have for on Monday. All right, I think we have a bank holiday. I think we have bank holiday on Monday. All right. Yeah, we have bank holiday for GBP on Monday. All right, meaning that the pound is going to be asleep on Monday, while the USD is going to be awake. All right. So I just have to use those words so you can understand. If you can see, we have news on USD too on that day. But pairs, like, it doesn't mean that they are not going to move. All right, they are still going to move. Like GBP USD is still going to move, but the volume is not going to be that much. All right, but I'm still expecting it to move. But it's a bank holiday, and you should reduce your lot size. All right, is because candles are very choppy at times. It doesn't happen every time, but most times that we have bank holidays, candles are like very, very, very choppy. So this is like, so this is the first part of the analysis for these pairs. So let's go back. Let me do something real quick. uh so I think we have like network lag over here. Okay, so also in this live stream, I want to take a look at. I want to show you guys how to properly map out your support and resistance. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this to load real quick so I can just get right straight to it. All right, so let's go to a blank chart. All right, let's take UAUSD. So the right way to map out support and resistance for trading. All right, it might be crypto, it might be whatever you are doing. Okay, but this is the right way to map out your support and resistance. This is our previous trade that we called out on Friday. You see that it smashed CPO, right? So if you just check the previous video that I made on this channel, okay, about our last previous analysis on Friday. We had a live session on Friday, and I personally described what's going to happen on Euro USD, GBP USD, and XUA USD, and 80% will hit our take profit. All right, this is it. All right, so this is how you draw your support and resistance. All right, very well. Okay, so now what is a support and where is the resistance? Right, a support is an area where buyers, okay, where buyers have rejected from. So this is a support. All right, this is a support. Let me do this real quick. So this is a support. Okay, this is a resistance. This is a resistance. This is support. Now when working on the higher time frames, okay, When working on the higher time frames, I advise that you make use of the wicks, right? Because it's going to help you if you go to the lower time frame. Most people trade on the lower time frames, all right? And it's very confusing for some people because when they find themselves in a situation like this, where you have this candle, they'll think that this is a breakout, but this is not a breakout. Why? Because it has not, the candle has not closed. One and two, this is a 4 hour candle, all right? Meaning that you have 4 1 hour candle in this 4 hour candle. So you are just going to buy with impulse entries. Most beginners have tricky fingers, all right? They have sleepy fingers and it's very tricky, all right? And at the end of the day, you end up confusing yourself, all right? At the end of the day, you just confuse yourself and you don't know what to do at the end of the day. So this is support, all right? This is support. We've marked it out before. You can see it is a support. Price came back to retest it. This is support. Now, trading is different from just me saying it. All right, I might be saying it and it looks very easy. All right, but when you are in that situation, when the market is moving, you see that it's different. So that's why some people it's good that you learn very well because at the end of the day, your psychology is going to test you. All right, no matter the amount of years you've traded for, your psychology will always test you. All right, that's something that we cannot defeat. We can only control it. All right. So just because I'm doing this does not mean that it's easy to do on the chart because when the market is moving, you are thinking of like different things. All right. So I'm trying to be real and I want you to understand what is actually going on here. All right. So this support, this is support. So where you have an argument, all right, where you have an argument and price bounce off that argument and you see presence of buyers and buyers take charge on the end of the argument. All right. So this is how I explain it to make it very easy for people. All right. So this is an argument. We have buyers and sellers arguing here of who is going to push the market to one direction. All right. So at the end of the day, we had buyers push the market from this direction to this direction, meaning that buyers have won over here. All right. So we come back here. Price created a resistance here. If you notice, it was not able to break this resistance and we fell down to this trend line. And then what happened? We had a bounce again. All right. So this is how you map out your support and resistance on the 4 hours time frame. All right. Then you go to the 15 minutes to execute. All right. You go to the 15 minutes to execute. What you are waiting for, what you are waiting for. We see market selling here usually that's how I teach people how to trade. Okay, when you see it depends on your system, everything will depend on your system. Okay, no matter what I tell you now, it will only depend on the way you trade. All right, and it will work for you depending on the system that you use. So when price is in a support, you have identified this area as an area of support. What are you waiting for again? You are waiting to see an information. Don't forget, we are only allowed to react to what we see, depending on the kind of trader you are. You might be a mechanical trader or a discretionary trader, but me, I'm a mechanical trader for life. All right. I can be discretionary sometimes because of experience, but I always choose to be mechanical because of edge. All right. There's always an edge. So if you give a set of instructions to a robot to obey, they find it easier to obey than when you give those same set of instructions to human beings. All right. So human beings will find it very difficult to obey. But if you give that same instruction to a robot, it's going to execute it exactly how you tell him to do it. So that's why I choose to be a mechanical trader, just to have that edge, because there's a flaw in being human. All right. And we cannot deny that fact. Okay. So first, this is it. All right. So I'm waiting to see an MOW pattern indicating that sellers are in are already present in the market. You have to wait for them. You have to wait to see their presence before what? Before you execute. Now, this is a trend line, and if you can see, we've identified this area as an area of what? As an area of support before. And what happened? Price came to this area and it bounced up. Don't forget, this candle had to form before we call this area a support. Okay, this candle here had to form before we call this area a support. So what happened? It bounced up, and then that was how the market started going up. So if you want to have your entries when trading support and resistance, when you see a breakout, all right, do not just enter the market. All right, do not just run and enter the market. Why? Because there's always something about manipulation. All right, there's something called manipulation. All right, they all pairs have that period of manipulation. All right. So when, no matter how good you are, if you do not have the ability to withstand those times that we have this dangerous manipulation, you are not yet profitable. Okay. So when you see something like this, you've mapped out your support and resistance on the higher time frame. You come to the 15 minutes time frame to look for entry. What do you see here? Price broke out of here and it retested this area. All right. So I am waiting to see a bullish candle. All right. I'm waiting to see a bullish candle close on a support. Don't forget, a support can turn to a resistance and a resistance can turn to a support. A support can turn to a resistance and a resistance can turn to a support. Okay, so when this area has turned to a support, what happened? I'm waiting to see a candle close as bullish on this support. All right, that is my confirmation to get an entry. All right, now that is for discretion. Now if you are mechanical, I'm going to have to wait and make sure that this price that I'm seeing here, even if this candle close bullish, I'm going to wait to see if my RSI is on the 80 line and if it has crossed the signal line. Okay, so that is my confirmation mechanically. So discretionally, you can say, okay, this candle has closed bullish on a support. I can go in for a buy. Okay, so that is how you make use of discretion and you can be mechanical about it. Okay, so this is it. All right. So it's very simple. The reason why trading is difficult is because we have just little rule of instructions that you have to obey. Then you tell yourself, okay, when this happens, this is what I have to do. But it's, human beings find it very difficult to obey simple instruction. So that's one of the things. So that's our flaw, and we cannot deny ourselves that. All right. So you have to first conquer yourself first before you come and conquer this. Why? Because this is the god of mammon, and it has been existing before you started thinking of coming to the chart. All right, they used to do rice. They used to trade rice in China. In China, then back then, the person who invented this, it was from rice selling. If you know, these are Japanese candlesticks pattern. All right, so that is it for this class, and this is my general outlook for USD pairs, Euro USD, GBP USD. I'm expecting a continuation of the trend or a reversal might come. If it does not come on Monday, I'm expecting you to break the weekly high on Monday and then continue buying. All right, so that's what I'm expecting for these pairs during the week. So thank you for watching and do have a blessed, profitable week ahead.